Hey guys, so what you saw me there was this piece, and I'm gonna be talking about what this is and why I need to do this. But first, just let me say that this is the perfect project for my lathe, and I could of course do this easier, less setup time, but I found this so interesting in just making parts the way that my lathe was intended to do them, which is first you need to put in some time setting everything up, and then you can just run through your parts as quickly as possible. So what you saw there was the full revolution of doing one of these, and then I just repeat that over and over and over again. So let me show you the motor it's supposed to go on and why I need to do this part. So when I was younger, I raced go-karts, and a couple of years ago a couple of friends and I, or actually a couple of friends of mine, started racing again with the old machines we used to race back in the 90s. And I started doing this as well just a couple of years ago. So this particular engine is a Ayame Parilla 100cc go-kart engine. And these engines rev up to 22,000 RPM, so they're very, very high revving engines. And it's just a blast to be back and driving these things. And I will be showing you more on the go-karts we use and the different projects I do for these, just both the engines and the kart. Ska du göra det nu då?
Ja. Brownie.
Kom bara titta in då.
Hello.
That was Max saying hello. So the problem here is the rotors, the ignition rotors on this engine. There are basically two different cones, one bigger and one smaller. So as you can see, these two wheels are different. So on this engine goes the small wheel. Problem is that my friend here, he has one more of these engines, and we can't get any more rotors like this. So what I need to do is to adapt this wheel to fit the small cone. So the part I am making is a adapter cone. It's supposed to go inside the flywheel or the rotor, and it fits on the shaft there. So I've done that part, fitting it onto the shaft, and what I need to do later on is to cut the taper on the outside to fit this wheel here. One downside of doing this is that I'm not going to be able to use this this keyway that sets the wheel in the right place. There are engines just like this that don't have a keyway at all, so it is completely doable. You do run a little risk of the flywheel moving, for example when the engine seizes, because they do that sometimes when you don't give them enough lubrication. So I'm gonna continue knocking these out. I'm making somewhere around maybe 20 of them, and after I've done all 20, I will machine a cone just like this on just some bar stock in the lathe, and I'm gonna be able to put them on that one and just tighten the nut, and I can machine the outside, being completely sure that they are concentric. So the first operation is all done. I have now 20 of these where the inner taper is cut, and the lid is all set up now for the second operation. And I went ahead and I turned this simulated crankshaft with the taper here, so I can mount my piece right there, washer and a nut, and I just snug that up a little bit, and I turn it and it comes out something like this. So it's working perfectly. I'm going to show you some video of me turning this outside taper, and we'll go over to the engine and you can see how it mounts on the engine. So we put our adapter on and voila, there you have it. It's going to be really interesting testing this out. I think it's going to work. I know other people use this kind of method. I have engines, other engines that that does not use the keyway, so it shouldn't be a problem. What I am going to have to do is to machine off this this flange here. As you can see, the other rotor doesn't have that. So in order to get the nut to sit properly on threads, it would probably work like that, but just I need to, for my safety or for my peace of mind, I would like that to be cut down a little bit to have a couple of more threads to have the nut engage in. So that was a really interesting project for me. I thoroughly enjoyed working on the lathe the way my lathe is supposed to be used. If you were standing in a factory doing this 8 hours a week, 8 hours a day for 5 or 6 days a week, you may not have enjoyed that that manufacturing process, just making the same thing over and over again. But I really enjoyed it. It was yeah, that was fun. And to make one of these would take, with the setup time on the lathe, it would probably take about 5 hours. Making 20 of them took about 6 hours. So even though I only needed one for now, it would be foolish to do all that setup time and not make a couple of more. I now have 19 of them to spare, and I don't think during my lifetime that I will be using them all. But it's nice to know that they are there. If I come across an engine just like this, I can do the same thing again. So I enjoyed myself, really did, and I hope you did too. So take care. I'll see you next time. Bye.